Yeah. So for my track, firstly I'm Finbar, and my song is called Foley, meaning madness. But for this track, I was looking at kind of like a YouTube video, which was about like tribal people and music that they create. And there was one scene where they were hitting metal on the ground, and I thought that was kind of industrial in a way because a lot of the bands in the 80s, industrial bands in the 80s, like Throbbing Gristle, did that and started to put that into their music. So I wanted to do that for my kind of track and create a more of an industrial sound compared to the video. So a lot more synthetic, machine-like, just hard-hitting kind of thing. It's very breakbeaty, all that kind of thing. Really, I'm dribbling on, but I mean, that's all I have to say for that track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for my track Artifact, I found like a bunch of samples and I decided I wanted to experiment with like granular synthesis and sampling and take it to an extreme degree where like just taking wooden block samples and like turning them into pads or just really extreme audio manipulation, and that's where the idea stemmed from. The name of the track also Artifact, it's to do with like distortion and error within signals, and that's sort of where I want to bring it in again. And and musically it's like all over the place. I wanted to mix in my influences of jazz and use various polyrhythms and whatnot, and yeah, that's how I went about it.
Cool. First off, I'm Alex Hackett. For my tunes on this compilation, they all kind of follow the most common technique that I use in all of them is I like using Ableton's stretching algorithms quite heavily, so really push it to its extreme, like stretch a sample right out until, as you were saying, you start getting artifacts left over, and when using the tones algorithm really gives you these kind of quite glitchy kind of bass sounds that still maintain kind of some kind of character of the sound that they came from, kind of giving the whole track kind of a kind of unifying feeling to it. Again, start off using samples of. I found a clip of some people like chopping wood and kind of layered it with itself, but slightly shifted them relative to each other to kind of create rhythms within themselves. And then for the longer tune, all of which haven't got titles yet, but they will when it comes out. For the longer tune, I found this a cappella from the late 90s, I think. And I again use that as the kind of basis for the whole tune, and then kind of again I was saying using that Ableton stretching algorithms right to the extreme to try and get a really dirty kind of distorted tone to my tunes.